The thing is, to do a fixed fee well, you need to have data on how long it actually takes you to do a project. So even though if you are not charging hourly, you might go, oh, well, I don't need to track my time. You really do. Because for every project that you do, you should be tracking your time so that you're gaining that data. Welcome to the Design Dialogues, the podcast where we dive deep into the business of interior design. I'm Beth, the founder of More Time to Design and a designer with over 13 years of experience. I'm here to help you navigate the challenges of running a successful studio, whether you're a solo designer or leading a team. Each week, I chat with industry experts and share practical insights to help you streamline your processes, grow your business, and create a studio that thrives. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy our Design Dialogues. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Tuesday episode of the Design Dialogues podcast, and this week it is a Solo with Beth episode. And today I'm diving into a topic that comes up constantly in my health check coaching calls. And I reckon it's one of the topics that I get asked about all the time when a group of designers are together. And it's really relevant for all designers, regardless of what stage of your business you are at. The question is, how do you charge for your work? What are the different pricing models out there, and how do you make a markup a sustainable, clear, and ethical income stream? I know pricing can feel like a minefield, but if we don't get clear and confident around it, we're doing ourselves and our clients a disservice. So let's unpack today what's possible and how you can make it work for your studio, because that's the most important part. You need to be clear on what is going to work for you and what you feel comfortable with. And that's most probably not going to be the same for any two studios. So why does pricing matter? It seems obvious, but if you're not charging properly, you're not running a business. You're funding a hobby, and that's not why you got into design. I've worked with incredible designers who are undercharging for months or years simply because they weren't sure what was normal or allowed, or they felt confident in putting the right number on their fees. But your fees have to reflect the value you bring to the table in a project. That includes your design skills, your years of experience, your network of trades, your ability to problem solve, and your commitment to delivering results that elevate your clients' lives. Okay, so let's walk through the main ways interior designers charge. So the first is an hourly rate. This is one of the most common methods for new designers. It's straightforward, you track your time and you bill accordingly. But it can have some downsides. You can be penalized for being efficient, and you can get stuck in time tracking chaos. You can end up spending more time trying to track your time than actually doing the work. An hourly rate is something that we should all have. We should all have an hourly rate. And it's a great tool to use if you are doing, say, a short-term project or a more kind of consulting style work where maybe the scope is hard to define, or there is unknowns that when you submit the fee proposal, the client is unaware of. So having an hourly rate as part of your fee proposal to help cover those kind of unknown parts is really important. Okay, so the second way is a fixed fee per phase. This is where you break the project into phases: concept, design development, documentation, on-site management, decoration, styling, and assign a fixed fee to each stage. This allows for more predictability and encourages clarity around scope. The thing is, to do a fixed fee well, you need to have data on how long it actually takes you to do a project. So even though if you are not charging hourly, you might go, oh, well, I don't need to track my time. You really do, because for every project that you do, you should be tracking your time so that you're gaining that data. Then when you put out the fee proposal for the next project, you're able to rely on that data so that your fixed fee is accurate. The fixed fee works really well if you have a clear process and you've done enough similar jobs to know how long each phase should take. So the next model is a percentage of the project cost. Now, this one is one that I have seen used in a lot of larger studios, and it reflects the model used by most builders and architects. So in this one, you charge a percentage of the overall budget, and it's really used for like a full service project. So, it might be a major renovation or a new build where the fee aligns with the scale of the project. But it can be risky if budget shift or expectations around deliverables aren't nailed down. So if you are going through as using this model of percentage of project cost, you really need to have a really good process around how you set out what you will be delivering and when you will be invoicing. The next model is kind of like a package or a service. So think kind of designer for a day or a kitchen layout consultation. These are pre-scoped offerings at a fixed price. So it's kind of like off-the-shelf design services. These are perfect for clients who want a taste of your expertise without a full design service. And it's great to have this offering for clients or leads who come in that aren't quite ready for a full commitment, but they kind of want to work with you. So being able to sell them something that isn't just your full service is really helpful. And it's a great way for someone, especially if they've never used an interior designer, to kind of test the waters. And from a cash flow perspective for your business, they can be great because you can go, okay, I've got time to fit in 3 of these a month or 3 of these a week. And then I know that that's going to be some very steady cash flow coming into the business. They're also easier to market in a way because it's very tangible what the client is getting. So if you are not offering one of these services, I would seriously consider how you can fit it into your studio offering. Then the last one is the hybrid model. And this is the reality for most designers, that it is kind of a combination of all of them. It's combining a fixed fee for design with hourly rates for project management or construction oversight. And generally, you will blend the package depending on the client and what is needed. And that's kind of one of the things that I think is a really sensible way to charge our clients. I really want to emphasize this point. Different pricing models can be used for different stages of the same project. For example, you might charge a fixed fee for the design and documentation phase, then move into an hourly rate or a percentage-based model for procurement and project management. Or you might offer a paid consultation or strategy session at the very beginning, something like a floor plan review or finished consultation as a standalone product. And then that can funnel into your full service offering. You just need to be clear about where one finishes and the next one starts. It's not about choosing one model forever. It's about understanding the value you bring at each phase and picking the pricing strategy that best reflects that value. Regardless of the pricing model you choose, here's something you must get right. It's how you communicate it. Clients just don't want to know what they're paying. you need to tell them what they're getting, why it matters, and how you'll deliver it, and when they will be paying. Be upfront in your proposals. Spell out what's included, what's not, how changes are handled, and how the fees are structured. Clarity builds trust. Vague language or hidden fees create doubt and resentment and are going to cause you a whole heap of trouble down the track. In my course, The Process, I walk you through exactly how to structure your proposals, contracts, and onboarding documents so you're not fumbling for words or losing confidence when it's time to talk money. So the one other thing when it comes to money is, how do you charge your markup when it comes to procurement of furniture and styling items, and possibly as well items for the build? Markup is not a dirty word. You're not just picking out a rug or a tap. You're leveraging your sourcing skills, your trade accounts, your relationships, and your time to get things done faster and better than the average person ever could. You're also managing the logistics, chasing suppliers, resolving damages, and making sure it all arrives on site in one piece. When you explain this clearly to clients, they get it. One of the things that I talk to a lot of designers about is that they feel like they can't charge a fixed fee and a markup. And this is particularly when it comes to kind of the styling and decorating part of a project. The way I like to think about it is the fixed fee relates to the part of our projects and the part of our skill set that is about the design part. It's about pulling a scheme together, making sure it all works. That is one very specific skill. The next part is the logistics, the chasing supplies, the resolving damages, and making sure it all arrives on site. That is a very, very different skill set. It's a very different task that we're doing. And that is what the markup relates to. When you explain this clearly to clients, they get it. I always encourage designers to include a short statement in their proposals about the value of procurement and how markup contributes to a smoother, higher quality outcome. Some designers use a flat fee instead of markup. Others show the markup transparently or roll it into a combined service and sourcing fee. However you do it, keep it simple and make it consistent and make it clear and communicate it well. The way you charge is as much a part of your brand as your visual style. Are you a luxe full-service studio? Are you the approachable, efficient problem solver? Or are you offering flexible consulting or highly bespoke packages? You get to decide and you get to evolve. If you start off down one path and then you feel it's not working for you, or it's not working for the business, or it's not financially viable, stop doing it and change. The designers I work with in the health check often realize that their pricing model isn't the problem. It's the lack of process around it. Once you standardize your communication, your templates, and your proposal structure, you can confidently offer whatever model works best for you and your clients. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and if you've got any questions about this or comments or thoughts, I would love to hear. Send me a DM or an email. I'm always up for a chat. And I'll see you for our next episode of the Design Dialogues. Thank you for listening to this Design Dialogue. I hope you have found it full of inspiration and helpful information to take into your design studio. If you like the podcast and want to hear more, consider sharing it or writing a review, as it helps us reach more people, and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. If you would like to unlock the power of effortless studio management and elevate your design business to new heights, please follow the links in our show notes to see how more time to design can help you build a better business. Have a great week, and I will see you for our next Design Dialogue.